always believe more than expected is the vision of E-Cell VSIT. As E-Cell have started a podcast series of young entrepreneurs who will share their success stories with us, which will help and motivate the future young generation entrepreneurs to achieve in their dreams. Good afternoon, one and all. So here, the E-Cell VSIT comes up with the 8th episode of a podcast series. I, Prajesh Kandar, core team member of E-Cell VSIT, welcome you all to the 8th episode of our podcast series, Dreamers of Today and Achievers of Tomorrow. Today, we have Mr. Tarun Makhija as our guest. Welcome, Mr. Tarun. Mr. Makhija is the co-founder and CEO of Big Mouth Digital and Media, a branding and digital marketing agency based out of Mumbai since November 2016. He has worked across the globe with 135 plus clients in 15 plus industries, delivering more than 450 plus campaigns on digital media platforms, delivering more than 600 plus campaigns on digital media platforms. He has trained 8,246 plus professionals and given 48 plus keynote sessions. So let's get started. Hello, Mr. Tarun, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm also doing great. So how's your experience living this new normal?
I think it's not new anymore for me. It's been like you've been doing the same thing and we've been living the same life. It's just a repeat of 2020. So I think, yeah, it's all good. The only difference between the last lockdown and this one is that last time I was with my parents, with my family. This time I'm here in Mumbai. So I think I'm appreciating both the places. So no complaints. Just, keeping where I am, stay put in the house and not really roaming around.
Great. You are the founder and CEO of Big Mouth Digital and Media. Can you tell us about what Big Mouth Digital and Media is all about?
Big Mouth Digital and Media is all about giving a voice to brands, individuals on digital platforms. That's what we try to do day in, day out. When I say voice, I mean, let's say, for example, if Prajesh has a brand, okay, that brand is into hoodies, for example, right? And Prajesh is not the best person to reach out to his target audience, or doesn't really know digital that much, or even knows but doesn't has the expertise to do it the right way. That is where Big Mouth comes into the picture. We try and understand what exactly do you need, what is the prime objective behind your brand, and then we kind of take this entire thing up, give you an entire media plan as to what will work for your brand on digital. Like, I can't promote your hoodies on LinkedIn, for example, but I can definitely promote them on Instagram and Snapchat. So that's what the team analyzes, and then we make a plan of action. So right from branding to anything under the sun on digital marketing. But we are at this space of growing majorly into content creation. When I say content creation, every brand today, every company, every individual, every small or big scale company requires one thing, which is content. Whether written, whether verbal, whether like a podcast, whether a video, whether a static image, or like a production setup, we all require content, right? So that's where we are headed towards. We're trying to build like a mini content factory for our clients. So we have some clients in which we are only doing content creation for them. They can use this content wherever and however they want, right? Having said that, we are also wanting to grow in the space of personal branding. We launched that as a service in the last 3 or 4 months. And what we realized that, even for you and the listeners of this podcast, it's all boiling down to one thing. You know what that is? That one thing is, if you are a brand yourself, you will have enough business for the rest of your life. If Prajesh has 10,000 followers on LinkedIn or on Instagram and he's doing something right about a specific subject, I will just reach out to him. Or maybe the other way around, if you're building a personal brand as a student, you might just get hired even before you apply. Because, I want Prajesh on my team because he does website development very well, for example, and he talks about only that. So that's another service that we're growing into. And just to tell you a little bit more about our company, we've been there since 5 years now, like you mentioned. And we've been able to work with all sorts of small scale to big scale brands like Axis Bank, Gatsby India, Suez Education Group, Tanvarsha, Blue Sea Valley, and many, many more. And I think more than anything, I think what it has made us realize is that if we as a company, as a team, can take you from A to Z, we would want to be there with you from A to Z throughout the process. And we can try and give you our bit of expertise within the team and take you and give your brand the voice it needs, which will be heard by the actual target audience of yours. So that's what we do in Big Mouth in a nutshell.
As we went through your LinkedIn profile, we saw that you're from engineering background in IT. So how did you enter the media world?
Well, that's a long story, but to just cut it short for you, it was post my engineering days and during my third year actually, and I was just on the street in my society walking around like every other day, and it's about 6 p.m. and I get a call from my partner, come my brother, and he says, "Hi, what's up? How are you doing?" I said, "I'm all good. How are you?" and all of that. And this guy out of nowhere asks me, "You know what? I have started a digital marketing company called Big Mouth. Would you like to be a part of it?" And I was as surprised, as shocked, as perplexed as I am right now. I didn't know what to do because, I got an entire job in TCS, which I'd never wanted to pursue. I got my admissions after my CATs in NMIMS Bangalore for my MBA program. And out of nowhere, this guy comes back and tells me this. And I told him, you know what? I told him this one thing. You know what? I will get back to you. So I told him that. And I took about close to 6 months to get back to him with an answer. Yeah, that's a lot of time to get back to something. But you know what? If you're changing an entire field, you got to be attitude, you got to research about everything that you want to do, right? If you're not happy at the end of the day, you might be blaming yourself for the wrong decision. So after 6 months, I remember April 16, 2016, I came to Mumbai. I signed the papers. We became partners in the company. And I went back to my hometown, which is Indore, and I completed my engineering. And I came back on July 15th, 2016. And I would say rest is history. And this entire thing, which I'm doing right now, was never the plan. It was not the plan. The plan was to do a job for a little while in a marketing domain, which I didn't do, and then do an MBA or directly do an MBA because I was preparing a lot for CAT. So yeah, here we are in the media world with no particular plan of being here, so to say.
As you commenced your company in 2016, and now it's been 5 to 6 years. So, what are the changes that you have seen in your digital marketing agency over this 5 to 6 years?
Wow, that's an interesting question. So, like I was telling you about Big Mouth, I think I would like you to go back to that answer and then come back to this. So, in the last 5 years, I would say from 2016 at least to 2019, we were taking up all sorts of work. We were taking up all sorts of clients, all sorts of brands, all sorts of industries we were working with. And people said you should maybe master in a particular industry, you should do this, you should do that. But in the last 2 years, what we have realized is that everybody around you is doing digital marketing. What is that key differentiating factor of Big Mouth? What is it that you would come to Big Mouth for? And that's exactly what we could figure out last year. And I think that's exactly why we now want to move into a direction of a company which does content creation like nobody else and personal branding with a focus on influencer marketing and social media as well. And branding. Our core differentiating factor will not be all of these 5 things. It will be Big Mouth equals to content creation, right from video production to animation to static images to branding to creating a logo. Anything which requires content will be there, right from a blog to a website. And I think what these 5 years have taught us, both me and my partner, is that if you have clarity from day one, which you would never have because you've never done a startup, right? I've never done a startup. It was the first thing that I'm doing. Uh, if you have clarity from day one, amazing. If you don't have it, get it sooner, because you will have to get some differentiating factor, right? Why do you buy an Apple iPhone today? Or why do you drink only Bisleri today? So there has to be something which is as much as it is for the phone or for that water bottle in your company too. If you can find that differentiating factor, and if you can really solve a problem which is solved in a more creative and a more beautiful way that anybody else is not doing, probably, I think you will be there, and you'll not survive but sustain for a long period of time. And I think one more thing which I have realized is, no matter what happens, no matter how many people come and go, the company still grows. So nobody in a company is permanent, is what I felt and what I've understood, apart from you, wherein you yourself are also not permanent. One day a company would just buy you out and they'll replace you as a CEO also, which is okay. You built something amazing, you are replaced now. So the point I'm trying to make over here is that, one, have a USP is what we realized, and we could develop it. Now we're developing on it really well. Second, nothing is permanent in a company. Not you, not your team, not your clients. Okay, nothing is permanent. Number three, a good culture can take a company a really long way. If you have a culture of, sorts where people actually attract people themselves, you're doing the right thing, right? Like, people want to work at Big Mouth. It's not like they're forcing them to work at Big Mouth, right? When we send out a job application, we get about 50 plus applicants, which is not even a joke, in just a day or two. I'm not saying all of them are great, but I'm just saying that people want to be a part of this company. That's the most amazing thing about it. And I think more or less these are the three things which I can drill down to in the last 5 years of the journey of Big Mouth. Yeah.
Okay, great. Where do you see the digital marketing industry in the next 5 years, and also your digital marketing agency in the next 5 years?
Digital marketing industry in the next 5 years. So when we were starting off, it was just about, people used to consider social media equals to digital marketing, right? Not us, people, right? So many people still feel social media marketing equals to digital marketing, but trust me, everything around us is evolving to another space. I think in the industry as a whole, right from augmented reality, which was introduced to us a couple of years back, or 3 years back actually, right, from QR codes to things like artificial intelligence, which is making our life very easy, tools which are paraphrasing content for us, tools which are making us understand as marketers whether this creative will work better or that creative will work better, doing the A/B testing for us. So I think AI plus AR is going to really change the world, I think. Plus, the introduction of metaverse is another virtual virtual entity altogether. It's a different thing altogether. You have like brands opening their stores in metaverse and all of those things. Plus, platforms like Discord, building communities, all of these things I think are going to only evolve and change the way we looked at digital in the last 4 or 5 years. And I think the industry will adapt the quick. So I'll tell you, the brands and the agencies which adapt quickly to the technology which is coming up will sustain for a longer time. Others are not going to be there. Others are just going to be doing the same thing, which is creating something, selling it to the client. That's it. That's what I believe about the industry as a whole. That's what I think. And I think one more thing about our industry is, which has become much more concrete in the last 2 years, nobody can escape this digital marketing as a thing for their business, right? I'm sure, right from your father to anybody's father or anybody realized in the last 2 years that they need something on digital. They can't just rely on a shop anymore, which is there, right? They have to have some presence on digital. Like, so many of my friends just went from offline businesses to online. Now they're doing both, right? So you can't escape digital marketing. You have to realize that you can't escape digital world. People are there and you got to be there where your target audience is. As simple as that. That being said about the industry, about Big Mouth, I would say The goal is same. We want to be known for creating some great content for brands and helping individuals, like a student or the marketing heads or the CXOs. There's a reason why I added students over there as well, because I also do a lot of things which are trainings and teachings which I do, in which I'm trying to empower as many students as I can. Well, we know that they can't really, come and avail our services because of the kind of prices that are involved. But everybody else, whereas a marketing head or an entrepreneur or a business owner, anybody can become a personal brand in today's time, and we can help them do the same thing. That's the target. And the last target will be to, you know, be able to build something so interesting that people want to work with us more than ever. Everybody's doing so many things, right? But not a lot of agencies are doing personal branding. So we want to do it in the way that we do it like nobody else is. And just to put a cherry on the top, we are going to come up with a tool by Big Mouth, maybe in the next 1 year or maybe more. It's on a very nascent stage right now, because a digital product is also what we want to build as a company, as a brand. And this is the first time I've spoken about it on any platform. And yeah, pertaining to students, I think I'm trying my best to do that, and on an individual level. My target is to teach and train at least 1 million people by December 1st, 2025. And I think with this space, Big Mouth and me, we together can really help individuals build a brand of their own, which is going to result in a lot of amazing things for them.
So do you have an institute where you teach like digital marketing to the students and everyone?
So it's more like an education initiative, I call it. It's called Tarun Speaks. That was just a hashtag back in 2018. I just started this hashtag called Tarun Speaks, and Tarun speaks on everything which he feels is okay about. Whatever he feels, he can speak about it. That was the whole logic, and it stays the same today. I can speak about digital entrepreneurship, content creation, personal branding, um, women empowerment, mental health, whatever I want. But today, in last I think 18 months of sorts, it is become an initiative wherein we kind of launched our courses. Like, I launched a course called Roadmap to Digital Marketing, and today we're sitting on the batch number 5. Then we launched so many mini workshops, so many courses on building your personal brand, how to leverage the power of social media, courses on LinkedIn as a platform for students, entrepreneurs, and small, medium business owners and working professionals. So the initiative has currently, just let alone in the last 18 months, we've been able to teach at least 5 to 6,000 plus students. That brings us to the total of 8246, because I started teaching back in 2018, December 1st. That happens to be my birthday too. I got selected as a visiting faculty for LS Raheja College, Mumbai. And I taught the BMS and BMM students, third year students, 6 months of digital marketing. And that's when I think a lot of platforms kind of came on board and they wanted to work with us. When I say us, I mean me. And I think in the last 6 months, we've been able to, or let's say 12 months, we've been able to work with institutes like VIT, institutes like yours now, NMIMS, Thakur, so many interesting colleges, plus corporates like HDFC Bank, Reliance Retail, and Tata Sky. We did about 3 corporate trainings for these 3 giants, if I would term them that way. And if you would tell me back in 2016 that, hey, Tarun, you would be in 2021 training these corporates, I would not believe you. And I think it's what I do. I really do it with 100% love, and that is the way I think Tarun Speaks as an initiative is growing. And yeah, we're trying to empower as many students, as many individuals, as many working professionals, as many housewives, as many entrepreneurs, as many people as we can through by teaching, training them in everything that I have learned so far. And I don't believe in taking lectures. I believe in a conversation. Like, this is a conversation. This is exactly how I teach my students. There is no set. There is obviously a set thing in my mind which I have to cover, but there is no set PPT which is going to come up on your screens. When I even have those, I still don't use them sometimes, because if you had to read a PPT, I could have just given it to you, right? So being saying that, the same initiative kind of expanded to a little more. In the last couple of years, I've done about 23 live shows, lives on Instagram under my show called Tarun Ke Saath, and about 6 podcasts have been published, and we've recorded about 12 more, because that we took a long break on the podcast because I was doing a lot of other things, and probably you can say it was not coming into my priority, but now I gave it priority. And in the last 40 days, we recorded about 6 episodes with some amazing people. We're going to release the first episode of this season when we record at least 12 episodes. So Tarun Ke Saath and Be Limitless with Tarun Makhija, the podcast and the live show, started with only one purpose, which is getting different people from different backgrounds. No matter what background they are coming from, if they can teach the audience something new which I can't teach, they're more than welcome, right? So more than the initiative, this is the way we give, you can say, free of cost value to the audience. Absolutely free of cost. Like, come, just tune in. That's it. So that's what I'm at a personal level trying to do, wherein the company is taking care of all the amazing brands, individuals, clients, and everybody else.
Great. So how's the experience being an keynote speaker?
Well, to be honest, experience as a keynote speaker, it's been exciting, I would say. Each time I take the stage, which was last in 2020, 2021 Jan, no, 2020, I think it was, in 2020 Jan and Feb and March, we could do about 4 or 5 keynotes back in the days. But we've done some keynotes in the last couple of years as well, all online, sadly. But it's just that it feels so good that you were a listener once and now you're the speaker, right? From your college to your school, you were always a listener and now you're a speaker. And it feels good that you've actually built something so concrete that people actually want to listen to you, right? You've built something decent enough so that people want to listen to you. But I think each time I go on stage or I just go online on Zoom in a session like this, my only focus is to tell people actual real life things which I have done, experienced, and I'm doing day in, day out. And I think after each keynote session or after each training session or after each client meeting, I always learn more than the other person, right? So you always learn more, and that's what I love about speaking. And I think I'm just a talkative person in general. Like, I love to speak. That's why Tarun speaks, and that's why keynote speaking, that's why public speaking, and that's why training, right? So I love speaking, and I love that it has taken me to places, right? And so I think the experience as a speaker has been sharing real stories, and I would continue doing the same.
Okay. So what's the best part of being an entrepreneur?
Best part of being an entrepreneur is, I would say, to be honest, there are a lot of amazing parts of being an entrepreneur and a lot of not so amazing parts of being an entrepreneur. The best part is that you are responsible for what you do, nobody else. Whatever is happening in the company, you are responsible. If the company goes up, you are responsible. If the company goes down, you are responsible. I think one of the best parts of being an entrepreneur is the challenge that you get every day, or I would say every quarter or every year. Last year, we were in a 2020 specifically, not last year now. We were in a very, 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 very big hole because of the pandemic. Some amazing companies prospered. We couldn't. We had a lot of clients from the hospitality sector, logistics, and catering as a sector. All of them just, the 2020 pandemic, right? Everybody was just, so it's amazing to be an entrepreneur because you have to challenge your own limits every day in, day out. And each day you have to show up. And I think I enjoy being that leader who can inspire people. I enjoy that part as well. because I never ever consider myself as a boss. The day I do, I leave what I do. Okay. I have been leading the team, trying my best to inspire them whenever I can. And I think one more amazing part is, uh, how you are, together as a team doing some amazing work, and how you as an individual are empowering, my partner and I both are empowering so many people to work with us, like they are working with us and we are helping them in their growth too, right? It's not just us who's benefiting at the end of the day. And I think since you are asked for the good part, I'll tell you the other side of the story too. If you're an entrepreneur, nobody cheers you. Nobody. No, nobody. You will tell your teammate good job. You'll tell your manager great job. You'll tell your art director, creative director, producer, designer, design team. Everybody, you'll tell them good jobs, and so will their leaders. So will their managers. Who is rooting for you? You yourself have to cheer yourself up. Have to be your own motivator. Have to be showing up every day if you believe in what you do. That's what I've realized, because I recently posted something on LinkedIn, and I realized that, if you choose this path, people think it's glamorous to just put building this company or founder or co-founder in their bio section, right? On Instagram, everybody wants to be a founder today. But you know what you actually don't see? There are a lot of sacrifices that you have to do to become an entrepreneur. You have to let go of things that you would want to do at that age. You have to let go of a lot of gatherings that you want to be a part of. Maybe you have to let go of maybe a city altogether. Maybe you have to live alone by yourself. So I think everybody's journey is different. I think I would just like to tell you that if you really believe in what you do, all of this will make a lot of sense one day, right? And I think one more part, which is not so glamorous about being an entrepreneur, is constant willingness to do uh, better than before, because you have a pressure from your parents and your society too. Luckily, I don't have it. I don't have zero societal pressure. I have zero parental pressure. Never really got any pressure. Luckily, I would say my parents have never really given me that pressure of, sending money back home every month also, right? A lot of people have to do it because they want to support their parents, and the parents need them also. But for me, it was decent enough. So I'm just saying that, when your relatives come in a wedding, they ask you कितना कमा लेते हो, जबकि उनको लगता है कि आप बिलियंस और मिलियंस कमा रहे हो, जबकि आप कोशिश करके पहले कुछ बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हो जो एक स्टेबल चीज हो. I think that is the point where a lot of people give up. They're like, let's just leave this and do a job. Has this thought never come to me? No, it has definitely come to me also. Specifically in 2020, it did came to me that, boss, we need the money. As individuals, we need money to survive, right? We need money to survive. And it was not coming. And having said that, I would just like to tell you that don't give up so easy if you really believe in what you do and if your idea is good enough, because all ideas have power. And I think if you can get past this particular phase of yours, which is going to come and go in your life, you will survive longer. And lastly, just don't become an entrepreneur or don't start something just to be looking cool on Instagram, or just to have that founder tag ahead of your name, or on LinkedIn for that matter, right? So that's my 2 cents on the good part and not the very glamorous part. I don't call it bad at all. It's just not the glamorous part, which people don't see that.
Okay. So what are your future goals?
My future goals. Number one, I want to train, teach, educate individuals and professionals and students, at least 1 million of them by December 1, 2025. And I'm not saying I'll be able to train one-on-one level. I'll be able to do it through my courses, my workshops, and my content, right? If somebody consumes my content every day, I'm sure they're learning a thing or two. That's what I want to bring on the table. Second, we are building AAA Gourmet Foods as well, which is now AAA Gourmet, which is a company by my partner, and I'm involved in it up to a great extent. It's a company which is into amazing, yummy products, and I really want to take that company along with him, support him to a level where you see us next year in Shark Tank India, hopefully, pitching the product. And third, for Big Mouth, I want to grow a solid team of people. We are a 15-member team now, wherein we've struggled a lot during the years, but now we are stable. I would still call it struggling phase only because I think this is not yet the destination where we want to be. But I want to grow it. I want to grow it to a level where people don't need me at the end of the day. I want to grow it to that level that I should be free of, you know, day-to-day activities, which is never going to be the case. But we'll try to get a replacement for me myself also. So that's the prime goal. And lastly, my goal and the motto I live by, which I do day in, day out, from to a Zomato Valley guy to an Amazon guy at the delivery at the door, or to the guy who's the watchman, to the auto drivers, to the taxi drivers, or to my friends or to my families. I do not forget to do this one thing every day. And I really believe in this motto of mine, which is, whoever you are, whenever you can, and wherever you go, don't forget to smile and spread a smile. Because when you do that, you know what happens? You feel even more enlightened, and not enlightened, actually, that's the wrong word. You feel even more happier yourself. More happier is not the right word again. You feel happy yourself. That's the whole thing, that there's a small, that pot over there. Next to that pot, there's a small box full of toffees. Each person who comes at the door takes a toffee back. It's as simple as that. You are, so I am coming at your door as a Zomato wala, expecting that I'm going to give this parcel to you, probably hear a thank you or nothing, or just take it and hear a couple of abuses. Kyun late kyun aaye, kya tha? But when the moment you give them this one toffee, which is just going to cost you nothing, the smile on their face is so big, you can't even imagine how amazing it feels. Right from the guy who comes in the morning to pick up the, garbage, I give him to, I give everybody. I try to give people whatever I can. And I think the more smiles you spread, the happier you become. And that's going to be my life motto. Like if I spread a smile today, if I educate somebody today, and if I did something right at Big Mouth and other companies, I'm doing the right thing, and I'll happily sleep better. That's my prime goal. And apart from this, I think it's all going to boil down to this one thing, which is how many smiles can you spread? As many as possible. That's what I'm trying to do. That's going to be the core of everything else.
Now we have some rapid fire questions for you.
Sure.
Yeah. Knowing what you know now, what you have done let me come again. Knowing what you know now, what would you have done different when you were first starting out?
Oh, when I was first starting out, I would definitely go to somebody who's been there, done that also. Like I would want to know that, what, I could have gone to X person and he's built a digital company from here to here. The journey would be fast. While I give a lot of credit to my partner, who's also my mentor, I go to him. And a lot of times he helps me with almost everything in the company. But if you have somebody who's been doing something of that sorts to already a big level, that would have helped us scale faster. I would have definitely changed that bit. And second, I would just tell myself it's okay. People will leave. It's okay. So don't get emotional. I used to get emotional long back in the days, but now I'm very practical about it. So it's okay. People will leave is what I will tell myself as well. Third, I would say in the first 365 days, figure out one niche that you can do the best right from the first year itself. Don't take 3 years to figure it out, or maybe don't keep changing it, because if you figure it out back in the days, just evolve in that. Those are three things that I would tell myself.
What motivates you to wake up every day and hustle?
Simple, spreading more smiles, educating more people, and doing what I love. This is educating plus marketing plus digital as a whole platform. As simple as that.
Okay. In this business world, whom do you admire the most?
Whom do I admire the most? Well, I think in terms of, it's actually a very open-ended question. I'll try to give you a answer on that. So I, really admire this one person who actually, these couple of people who've actually, kind of helped me in the last 2 years a lot. One of them is Harshil Karya, and another one of them is Akshay Gurnani. These two people are co-founders of Shebang, and they have really kind of helped me at a lot of places where I needed them. We've been trying to do some work together as well, but the best part about that is that I really admire how they have grown a company so amazingly big and so well, and I'm sure they're doing the right thing, so I consider them as my admirations. And if I have to say another person, I would also add up my own partner. I think he is somebody who I admire a lot. He comes from a very amazing background, and then starting everything from scratch, uh, which he started the last company in the last year, which was AAA Gourmet. I told you, is not easy, right? So I think I've seen him uh, always smile through every problem of his life, and he always makes it through. I think that really motivates me. And one person I can, actually not one, actually three people I can never let down. One is him, one is my parents, and three is myself. So I admire these three people: Akshay Gurnani, Harshil Karya, and Gautam Agicha, who is my partner in business and in crime.
Okay. What is your favorite book?
Favorite?
Book.
My favorite book. So I haven't really read, so many books in my life, to be honest. I have not really read all of these books over here, but I've read about, a few of them. So my favorite book currently, I would say, will be the Ikigai. I really like how it tells you nitty-gritties of how can you actually do something which you love, how can you make something out of it, and how can you do it day in, day out, and how can you live a life which is, free of a lot of other things. So I would term Ikigai. And one more book which I really like and I admire, I've read that entire thing as well. If you really want to grow and build your own presentation skills, I really love this book, and I really recommend this book strongly, which is The Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs by Carmine Gallo. It's a game changer. It's really a game changer. And one more book which I'll definitely recommend you all to read is The Secret. But I also want to add something over there. The law of attraction only works if you do. Yeah, full stop. That's it.
Okay. Okay. So what is the one thing that annoys you the most?
Uh, One thing which annoys me the most is, so I'll give you a classic example. If you tell me that you'll do this as a teammate, as a friend, as a colleague, do it. Don't make me follow up on it, because I hate follow-ups amongst my team. Consider to the client, if I have to get a meeting, I'll follow up till the very end. Till the very end. I'm not saying my team has requires a lot of follow-ups, but if you're committing to a task and if you are deciding the deadline, because I'd let them decide the deadline, please commit to it, or at least communicate. People fail in this one thing, which is communication. Like if Prajesh fails to communicate that this podcast has to be scheduled on this day at 3 p.m., I would be like, dude, they're not serious about this, right? So I think that communication can solve all your problems. So never, 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 never not communicate to the other person, whether in business, relationships, or elsewhere, professional life, wherever. So I think that annoys me the most. And I think second thing which kind of annoys me is the youth which suddenly wants to, okay, I'm also very young, I'm not like 50, but I see the youth which are, people who are the Gen Zs, who are the millennials. I'm also a millennial, but the Gen Zs, people who are born after 2000, they want to get rich quick. or they want to get famous quick, and they want to just do this for getting famous. That's not a great why to have. Have a deeper sense of why do you create content, or why do you want to do a business, or why do you want to work at a place, or why are you doing what you're doing. If you cannot figure out the why on day one, it's okay. Keep figuring it out day in, day out. But don't do something for just being famous, or don't do something because everybody else is doing it. So yeah, that annoys me a little bit as well.
Okay. So what's your winning formula for being a successful entrepreneur?
Marry the clients you're working with. Don't treat them like your girlfriend. Treat them like your wife that you will be with for your entire life, because you can have more than one girlfriends but not more than one wife, right? You would want to keep the equation that way. And while you're doing that to a client, make sure you keep doing some amazing things for them, like you would when she was your girlfriend. So if you can really marry a brand, if you can, so for example, if let's say your business of hoodies, if I really understand everything, what is the thread that it is made up of? How much does it cost you? How much do you marketing it at? I will go and be able to market your brand much better. As simple as that. So that's what I tell my team. शादी कर लो ब्रांड से, मतलब इतना पता होना चाहिए आपको ब्रांड के बारे में, इतना पता होना चाहिए कि उनकी इंडस्ट्री के बारे में, कि वो लोग भी शौक हो जाए, भाई ये क्या इंसान है यार, ये कैसी टीम है। और आपको इसके लिए कुछ 5,000 10,000 क्लाइंट्स नहीं चाहिए, आपको इसके लिए सिर्फ अगर आप हर इंसान अगर एक कंपनी में 2 या 1 अच्छे क्लाइंट से शादी कर लेता है पूरी की पूरी, बॉस आई नो दिस क्लाइंट लाइक नोबडी एल्स इन दिस कंपनी, आई थिंक द कंपनी इज गोना सर्वाइव अ little much longer. Second, keep communicating with people. What are they looking for in a company? What are they liking? What are they not liking? They'll help you shape it up faster. Third, I would say have a mentor. 100%. Like you should have somebody who can get you back on track, give you some ideas, give you the motivation. Always. And I think I'm a big fan of 3 things, but just one more bonus for you all. Build your own brands today. That is the winning formula of 2022. If I know you enough, if I know Prajesh, and if Prajesh has, let's say, 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, and he has a good following, he's built a community. After 1 year, and Prajesh launches a small product, which is a hoodie, at least a sizable number of people will buy it from him. So that's the winning formula for 2022. And apart from that, you can all add up the 3 points which I said before that.
Okay. What's the best piece of advice you have ever got?
Best piece of advice I've ever got is actually, that's an interesting one. I'll have to think of the advices I've got in my life. So I think I've got this advice multiple times from my partner himself, which is if you have any problem in your life, any goddamn problem, if you treat it like the smallest of your life, you'll be able to focus on the solution faster. Because sometimes you make a small problem look like a very big one. So however big the problem is, just make it look like the smallest problem you have in life and solve it. And since we're talking about problems, I think actually I've believed this and I've seen it, that communication can really solve all your problems. That's the second advice. And one last advice for everybody is no matter what you do, no matter how big you become in life, no matter how much you achieve things, you gotta stay humble. If you're not humble, soon people will start disliking you. I'm not saying you should be pleasing everybody, but I'm sure if I was in your position, I would be humble and keep my feet on the ground itself. So yeah, those are the advices I've got.
The last one. What message would you like to give to the young budding entrepreneurs?
Build your own personal brands, please. please, like, just build your own personal brand, go out there, build your own personal brand, go out there, build your own personal brand, go out there, build your own personal brand. Just keep doing this day in, day out. You may not see the benefit today, but the seed is sown, and it takes time for a tree to give you fruits. The same thing is with personal branding. And one more advice for you all is trust your instincts as much as you can, trust your gut as much as you can. And last, if whatever you're building, treat data as the most important thing, right from your customers to your team, right from your services. Just figure out, just bring it down to numbers, and it'll be easier for you to take a decision.
Thank you so much, Tarun. A very big
You're
thanks to Makhija, as his presence have gained a very as his presence have given you a very sense of satisfaction, and I thank one and all present here. Thanks, Mr. Tarun, once again. Thank you all present over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prajesh. Thank you. You're very welcome.